I think we're about ready to kick off. I'm sure people will carry on joining. Welcome to all our attendees. We're excited to have you join us for this informative conversation today. Before we get started, some housekeeping. Any questions can be posted to the chat channel, and we'll aim to answer all the questions during the Q&A at the end. If we're unable to get to all the questions today, we'll definitely respond after the session. We'll be hearing from some key speakers who'll share how conversational AI is changing customer experience landscape, specifically in the retail sector today. Our speaker lineup, as you've seen from the agenda, are as follows. We've got Ruby Pulverenti, the VP of Sales from ANZ region at DRUID, who will provide some positioning and talk us through how conversational AI is changing and improving customer and employee experiences. We're also very honoured to have Caldo Gliana, from Automation Product Owner from Kmart, discussing Kmart's journey to conversational AI. We'll hear about the business challenges that Kmart faced and their journey and the incredible benefits that they're seeing. We then anchor the session through a live demonstration by Horia Radoy, Director of Product and Technical Pre-Sales at DRUID, who will introduce us to Rita, the Customer Experience Conversational Assistant. Horia will also offer guidance on how to utilize ChatGPT to improve interactions between conversational assistants and customers. This promises to be a very engaging and interesting demo, so definitely stick around for that. And last but not least, in case you're wondering who I am, a brief introduction on myself. I'm Ursula Riemer, Strategic Engagement Director for Quanton. We're an ANZ company and a DRUID partner, focusing on bringing AI-powered solutions to the Australian and New Zealand market. We understand the challenges and risks around AI adoption and provide the expertise to help maximize the benefits of AI. For us, it's about connecting the future with now and helping organizations navigate through the hype of the AI frenzy at the moment with a healthy dose of pragmatism. Partnering with DRUID has given us the ability to bring conversational AI to life for organizations across ANZ who want to leverage the power of ChatGPT and artificial intelligence to drive better business outcomes. So if you want any further information after the session today, please feel free to reach out. I will leave it there and now hand over to Ruby from DRUID. Thank you, Ruby.
Thank you, Ursula. How do my slides appear? Oh, magic. Perfect. Okay, thank you, Ursula. Hi, everyone. As Ursula mentioned, my name is Ruby Pulverenti, and I represent DRUID and look after the Australia and New Zealand region. I only have a couple of talking points to unpack before handing over to Caldo from Kmart, which will be in about 10 minutes. But in case you didn't know who DRUID or DRUID AI are, we are a chatbot and conversational AI software provider. We do like to make a distinction between the two. We work with clients of all shapes and sizes in various sectors with particular attention to retail, and clients include but are not limited to the Kmart Australia group. I come from an automation background, having spent time in the RPA space where we concentrated on back office efficiencies across various enterprise applications. I have been in the conversational AI space for a short period of time. And in this short period, I'll begin by just personally speaking to how exciting the AI headwinds are that have come to this region, within which conversational AI is a massive part of the fold. It's a real testament to some of the philosophy that DRUID has been chest beating about for the past few years that brings some thought around how to enhance a chatbot experience beyond just FAQs, how to bring a digital personalized experience for your customers, but in equal measures, how you can bring that experience to the back office. So unlocking those back office efficiencies in your traditional ways, but by applying a conversational layer to your employees, very much links the two notions around employee experience and customer experience. Something we've been talking about for a while. And in the short time I've been in here in this space, the appetite with customers, existing and potential partners, industry analysts, industry leaders, some of the talk points that they're referring to, including but not limited to some of the compliance considerations, again, sort of, validates some of the things that we're talking about, and I think holds us in very good stead. So we're very excited to sort of share, do some knowledge share and transfer, and we invite questions, comments, and of course some discussions post this session. Okay, so jumped ahead a bit. I mentioned a couple of themes I'm going to be referring to. I touched on very briefly just before, employee experience equals customer experience. So as part of our time in this region, we've been invited to attend and participate in various forums, particularly in the retail space. And it has been very refreshing to hear from business leaders who are being challenged to consider some of the disruptive technologies such as ChatGPT and the like, and how they're involving such technologies to cover two aspects: the customer experience and the employee experience. So in these forums, it's been wonderful to hear heads of customer experience, heads of HR, that are being emboldened to look at technology investments to achieve both outcomes. So customer experience, as we can appreciate, and this is a pretty standard scenario. You should be able to go to any website, interact with a chatbot, or better yet, a conversational AI agent, make a purchasing decision, take advantage of recommendations for upsell and cross-sell opportunities, which shrinks call wait times in the back office and also leads to additional revenue streams for the retailer. And this is a bit of a contentious statement, but there's almost little point putting all that investment into that experience if that same potential shopper walks into the store and a human staff member has little visibility of the inventory, availability, little knowledge of the customer, their buying patterns, what they might be interested in, and a missed opportunity for some in-person cross-sell, upsell opportunity. And I think we all know and have in our minds, who some of the brands are that can achieve that instantly and have achieved that instantly. And, some of those, one of those brands, it sounds like a fruit. So that if you were to sort of buy an Apple product, you can trust in the technology because there's a brand recognition and a belief, but also the service from the staff carry that same belief. So they've certainly cracked the code on linking the two, that digital experience, as well as the in-person store experience. And in these forums, it was great to hear that these were the considerations that retailers were thinking about, and also putting in equal measures attention on what sort of technology decisions they should make to empower their front office staff, their frontline staff, as well as their back office staff, to ultimately give a delightful experience to their customers. So, talent retention, belief in the brand, big talking points. By way of example, there's no reason why someone like you or me, who is sitting behind the scenes, can't leverage a conversational AI agent to help with an expense, create the expense, submit the expense, follow up, take the digital forms, the receipts and so forth, follow up on the workflows, the approvals and the like. And in that same experience, submit a request around IT. I can't log in, I'm overseas, can't get in, need my password reset. So rather than having that employee work with different systems, an expense system, an HR system, or an IT system rather, have a virtual concierge that provides that conversational layer, that Alexa-like experience across all of your enterprise applications, and in a single interface, unlock efficiencies for that user. And this could be written, it could be spoken, and again, DRUID has provided this capability and has espoused this philosophy for a while now. And what's also good to see is, and customers understand, is that we complement existing technology investments. I think one of the best compliments we heard from Kmart was that we allowed them to sweat their existing assets to enable them to lock more from some of their existing spend. So it was great to hear, these themes in some of these forums. It really validated what we're thinking about and have always, delivered on, and that is that the employee experience very much equals the customer experience, and through conversational AI, you can achieve both. Second theme, before I start to wind up, is around AI does not equal AW. The wisdom, the W in AW, very much stays with us. And we have to, I suppose, embrace the disruption and the challenge that business leaders are being, forced to tackle with this wave of generative AI, technologies, including, GPT. But also consider some of the compliance requirements that are very much, in place and need to be addressed, which are evolving as the technology is evolving too. And it's different. There's some nuances depending on which sector we're in. So whether it is to do with architecture, whether it is to do with legal, data privacy, even ethical, a lot of these compliance requirements are evolving. They need to be addressed at the same speed as the technology is evolving. And we're very happy to say that, we meet the security standards, the data privacy standards through our integration with Azure. So depending on your subscriptions with Azure and your contracts in place, we fulfill the security requirements that need to be adhered to. So again, to be able to sort of work with customers on all of these aspects, that forces them to at least consider this as part of their AI strategy, let alone what is the journey to adoption before meeting their metrics around customers and employees is something that we're very happy to be a part of. So before I hand over to Kmart, and just to end with a little bit on how DRUID helps fulfill some of these imperatives, I mentioned chatbot and conversational AI. So if you were to go to kmart.com.au or kmart.nz.co, just go to the little box on the right-hand corner, click on it, and you'll see Chatterbot, which is very much where Kmart began. It's an FAQ button-driven experience that handles returns, orders, processing refunds, and so forth. And the journey to date has been exciting, and the journey ahead for many of our retailers and other customers in outside of retail in different sectors is very much moving to conversational AI. And this is where we have more AI power behind your run-of-the-mill chatbots. We involve generative AI engines to enhance the experience, but also applying those security guardrails that are faced in front of us. And we enable that interactive, real-time information source to both customers and your employees. So if we were to go with a retail example, there's no reason why someone like me can't go to that conversational AI assistant and rather ask about, through a button-driven experience, about an order or a refund. There's no reason why I shouldn't be able to type or even speak a question around, say, for example, party planning. I have a 17-year-old. I'd like to plan a party, and I need some help. And there's no reason why that conversational AI assistant can't ask me or comment and interact with me. For example, great, what theme were you thinking about? Have you thought of these themes? And present some images. So it's very much, that's just the start of what's possible and what we're piloting already, and what's already being delivered in our customers, as well as in the back office for our employees. And that experience very much involves that ability to interact with all those back-end systems, other engines, and provide that lovely, delightful experience to your beneficiary. We don't mind what channel we deliver this experience on. Some of them are listed here, some aren't. We keep adding to our product and opening up different channels of communication. We have also up to 100 languages. And I mentioned before that we don't mind if it's written or spoken. I think one of the best compliments I received from another customer was that DRUID is like Jarvis or Edith for their business. And if you follow Iron Man, or if you're a Marvel bigot, you'll know what we mean there. And if you don't, just Google Jarvis Iron Man and you know what we're talking about. So voice, I think, is the new digital. Again, something we've been heavily adhering to for a little bit now. And once again, it's just the technology piece is already here. We help unlock more from your existing spend. And our ultimate aim is to help you achieve some of those objectives that you have around customer experience, around your employee experience, while also fulfilling some of the obligations from a security standpoint, and helping you bridge that gap between adoption of AI for some of these outcomes. All right, so that's where I'm going to leave it. I'm going to hand over to Caldo Giuliano, who Ursula mentioned is the product owner for automation and more in the Kmart group. He is also a automation expert and a domain lead. And I encourage you to connect with him on LinkedIn and maintain a connection, so you can certainly lean in into each other and hear about each other's journeys, so that can help with your consideration if you are considering AI and conversational AI as part of your strategy. So I will go on mute and over to you, Caldo.
Thank you, Ruby. That was nice introduction. Just a little bit about myself. I'm the automation product owner at Kmart. I joined Kmart in October 2020. My team and I look after automation pipelines, so that includes RPA, chatbots, conversational AI, and we never stop looking for new and cool, exciting things, such as ChatGPT and other things. So I'm sure most of you already are big fans of Kmart. If you haven't shopped at Kmart, you are definitely missing out. Just look at this slide. So, when you see the Kmart brand, we immediately think about some of these values that I've got on this slide. The combination of affordable prices, trendy merch, and an awesome corporate responsibility. Those are the sort of three jump at me every time I look at this slide. But in addition to our beautiful stores, we also have a strong online and digital presence. We have about 50,000 people working in our business. We are not a technology company. We are really a people company with 50,000 employees. A lot of my friends ask me, my friend and family members ask me about what we do in the space of automation at Kmart, and I'm sure a lot of you are asking the same question. So AI, ChatGPT, conversational AI, chat systems. People already have a preconceived idea that AI can do what it can do, and some people have exaggerated thinking. They think it can, make you a cup of coffee in the morning and solve most complex problems. And people have all different thinking and different use of AI and ML. And I will take you through our journey, what we've done, and what we've done. So my typical response to my friends and families, what I actually believe in as a people company, a good technology will support our people and our customers, which is a very powerful thing. And we continuously look for new technologies that support our operations, people, and customers. So why conversational AI? Why we implemented this? A lot of reasons, but sort of top three reasons for me are shopper experience or customer experience, obviously operational efficiencies, be able to do more with the same or with less, sometimes I say, and obviously accelerate our digital transformation. So customer experience is really important, and I think every retail organization out there is looking a way to enhance their shopper experience or their customer experience. From our perspective was when we looked at conversational AI and we looked into DRUID, was about enhanced self-service capability. We wanted to be able to service our customers 24/7 with multilingual interface. In the past, we had English. Our call center supported our customers in English. When we got DRUID AI window, I think day one we had 13 languages available. So people from Australia, outside Australia, from New Zealand, we're able to use any language to interact and access our services. Service availability is another one across the web, social media, voice IVR. Obviously, when you start with your chatbot journey or conversational AI journey, you want to look at the MVP and define what that MVP is. This might not be part of your MVP, but eventually you want to be able to have your service available across web, social media, and IVR, especially to connect with the younger generation. Another important aspect and enhanced shopper experience for me is keep up with the spike. So, scale up quickly when you need to. Boxing Day, Christmas shopping. It's about being available to your customers when they need you. If you have just a limited call center and you have a limited amount of people that's sitting watching your customer service mailbox or be able to answer phone calls, you really can do what you can do. And having a conversational AI system alongside those people providing service to your customers help you scale up really quickly when you need to. The second box, the middle box there, is about increasing operational efficiency. And I think one of the biggest problems I see with most of organizations I've worked for, that there is an operational gridlock. Most of retail organizations and non-retail as well, the way they improve their customer operation services is incredibly manual. And that can cause a gridlock. So you don't have the time to improve, and then you never improve because you're always busy. So, a lot of organizations I worked for in the past, they were randomly sampling calls. They're going into a manual review of their customer service data to be able to come up with ideas and initiatives to improve their customer service, or even manually sometimes redesigning and implementing knowledge base articles, KB, all of that stuff. And sometimes we also have these management-driven programs where you would typically go and look for what are the areas, the low-hanging fruit areas that provides the highest value delivery for your organization. It's like shooting in the dark. Sometimes you think they are the low-hanging fruit, but they are actually not. You don't have data to support it. You don't have information that you can act with less risk of your project failing. Sometimes you see management deciding on the next best action. Really, it's just based on technology selection, based on some marketing slides. So what we see with tools like DRUID AI, one of the things that I'm really excited about is that these tools come to market and give you useful information from the data that you're collecting that you can act on. So data is one thing, information is another thing. You can have a lot of data, but you can't really do anything with data. So having something like DRUID AI, where you can see all your transaction logs and you can see your customer giving you a thumbs up and thumbs down at the end of conversation, is actually useful data useful information that you can actually act on. So I think these tools, when they're used correctly, will reduce some of this gridlock that you have and give some time back on your staff's hands or customer service agents to be actually able to do more innovative and productive tasks. The third one is about digital transformation, and I think it's an old thing to say now, but every organization at some stage has looked into their digital transformation journey, and they have multiple horizons, and different organizations are in different maturity level in their journey. From my perspective, just one thing I would like to talk about is, ChatGPT is not AI breakthrough. GPT-3, the underlying algorithm for ChatGPT maybe is, but the ChatGPT itself, it wasn't. It was hard for me to see this looking forward. So I think when we started our journey, October 2020, it was really hard to see this. But it's really easy now to connect the dots looking backward. So the biggest breakthrough for ChatGPT is the interface. It is the user interface breakthrough. It's the ability to engage with a LLM, large language model, in a way that general public can understand, interact with, and experience. And I think that's really important to understand. So it's really important that we look backward to understand that this market-proven technology and what DRUID has actually enabled the Kmart business is really working. So on the box on the right-hand side, I talk about fast integration. So with it, if you might have some internal APIs that you don't have an interface to bring those APIs to your customers, and ChatGPT can't do that, but DRUID AI for us has enabled that service to be made available to our customers. Orchestrated business processes, faster customer service feedback, and transformer services. So what has enabled for us, when we implemented DRUID, the first thing as part of MVP for me was FAQs. How do I give answers to my customers really quickly without they having to wait on a phone call, or they have to wait for an email reply, or they have to walk into a store to get their question answered? And the best way for me was DRUID interface. Make that available, get all our knowledge base, articles, the frequently asked questions made available to our customers. And obviously different organizations will have different MVPs, and they will have different priorities, what they want to tackle. But for me, was that one. And then from there, it was the integrated order cancellation and refunds. So a chatbot or DRUID chatbot system enabled that for our Australian and New Zealand. The benefit of that was reducing the processing time from 2 to 3 days from memory only to about 4 hours. And then, oops, the light turned off in this meeting room. Sorry about that. And the next thing was the Facebook integration. So this might not be a priority for you, but eventually, if you want to connect with the younger generation and be able to have a multi-channel integration with your services, you want to look into WhatsApp, Facebook, etc. From our perspective, the benefit was reduction 60% of the inquiries that we get from Facebook. So a typical person on Facebook would ask us a question. It will take time for us to answer that. Having chatbot integrated through Facebook means that we were able to service our customer immediately, give them the answer that they needed. We made enhancement to order cancellation for click and collect orders, automated IVR for cancellation, product search and stock availability. So while you can go to our website and browse for products and what you need, using chatbot, right now you can ask for whatever product you want, and it will go and find that product and give you the link for the product. So you can just click on it and access the information about that product, or if you want to just add it to your cart and check out. End-to-end damage identification and processing automation. It was something that it was extremely manual in the past. Multilingual support, like I mentioned before, and being able to service our customers 24/7. So these are just some of the services that we have enabled today, and we have a lot of other ideas submitted by the business and our customers to bring for our shoppers in the future. Just to talk about some of the metrics. So the average conversation handled by chatbot per month is about 19,000. Customer inquiries handled by chatbot versus responding to an email or a phone call or an SMS, 33%. And we also talk a lot about low-cost channels or no-cost channels. So, every organization, I'm pretty sure most of the retail organizations are looking into ways how to service their customers at affordable rate. So 79% of the inquiries today are provided by low-cost, no-cost channels. The high-cost channels would be voice, obviously. So you have a call center, you have a telephony system. People call your call center and wait in a line and then speak to someone to get their question answered or get their order processed or get a refund processed. And the low-cost channels are emails, SMS, and obviously chatbot. Chatbot is extremely powerful, and like I mentioned before, it also keeps up with the demand and allows you to scale really quickly when you need to. And being available 99.9%. So that's our journey. That's what we've done at Kmart in collaboration with DRUID. We are really excited about the features that we brought to our customers, and we constantly listen to customers' feedback and our staff feedback, and built a backlog of the features that we need to develop and release back to them. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask me now via chat or shoot me an email, and I will hand over back.
Awesome. Caldo, thank you very much. That was very insightful. And with that, we will hand over to Horia. And Horia, we're looking forward to that introduction to Rita.
Thank you. Give me just 1 second. Share the screen. Let's see, is it entire screen? And there you go. So please let me know if you can see my screen. Actually, I have my feedback here. So basically, to reiterate what both Ruby and Caldo have mentioned up until this point, DRUID works as a virtual assistant. DRUID is here to help your employees or your customers in their journeys interacting with your enterprise. So for the retail example, basically the DRUID virtual assistants can act as, let's say, that first line of defense where a user can want to contact your company because they have a problem, they have an issue, they simply want to place a new order. And the DRUID virtual assistant is there to help the repetitive, boring, mundane tasks that otherwise a human might need to do, and empower the internal employees to focus on the more, let's call them, again, the more humane tasks. Let's say someone actually has a problem that they cannot solve. Someone, basically wants to, as I said before, to place an order, to interact with your enterprise. Well, DRUID can help with this. So for this, I'm not going to waste any more time and introduce Rita to you. Now you will notice that Rita basically acts as a normal chat. However, a DRUID virtual assistant works in an omni-channel approach, and to go back to one of the points that Keldo made earlier with the Facebook integration or any of the other channels supported by the DRUID virtual assistants, we work in an omni-channel approach. So this means that even though you have a virtual assistant on your website, if you want to open a new communication channel, as you will see in just a couple seconds, the DRUID virtual assistant can be deployed immediately without needing to rewrite any of the logic, any of the existing logic. So for instance, if I want to log on to my account, I have the possibility here to, actually it's the other email. I have the possibility to be identified. For instance, since I am currently logging into an account which I'm already, to which I'm already logged on, we can extend. This is a demo example, so of course there will be, some simplified steps. But in this case, the virtual assistant will identify me not only based on my user account and my email experience, but it can also show me what my vouchers are, if there are any special offers. It can help me track an order. For instance, if I tell the virtual assistant I want to know where my order is, the virtual assistant can help identify the order if I know the AWB, if I know the tracking number, and it will be able to provide me with this kind of information. Let's say, oh, do I need additional information? No, thank you. Okay, let's go back to the menu. So let's say that I would want to purchase a gift for my friend. I don't feel like a gift card might be that personal at this point, so no, thank you. Let's see. Is my friend interested in technologies? Yes, he is. And you can see here how through this conversational experience, there is a virtual assistant at the other side of, of the logic. Expensive. But at the same time, the conversation feels natural and is tailored to look and feel as though I am communicating with a human agent. Oh, so for instance, the virtual assistant, once I've identified a category that looks good for me, can pull up all the relevant information from that particular category and allow me even to start building up my cart directly from here. So this is the order. I can go ahead and place the order. I have some vouchers, so might as well use them. Let's apply it. And let's see, I will want the order to be placed, and notice how the DRUID virtual assistant, since it already identified me as having an account, as having, previously exchanged information with the shop, it was able to pull that delivery information and to get the information about me from the backend systems without me needing to re-enter them. Let's say that I want to perform an online payment, and the DRUID virtual assistant can now also interact with other types of applications, other types of both front-end and back-end applications. In this case, allowing me to fill the information, for instance, on the card. Now, as mentioned before, all the information captured by the DRUID platform is captured in close to real time and allows you to, for instance, to get an overview of how the virtual assistant is performing. You can see the number of messages, you can see the quality of the users, you can see how many were authenticated, you can see if any of the conversations ended up needing a contact center integration. Speaking of the contact center interaction, speaking of contact center, people might be complaining. There may be some business processes that require, for instance, in case of product return, that may require a contact center agent to give the final approval and identify that that particular return is okay to be initiated. But where most of our clients really like it, where they would really get a lot of information is from this automations tab, where if the appropriate ROI metrics are associated with the various flows that you can see in the virtual assistant, you can start seeing here how the savings start piling up. Finally, in DRUID, we use our own natural language understanding engine. This supports up to 100 languages and allows for the conversations, for the virtual assistant to identify and to understand basically what the humans want. So for instance, in this tab over here, you have the possibility to see in broad terms how the virtual assistant is performing, but also through the DRUID platform, you have the possibility to see exactly what the end customers are asking for. In this way, providing you with a very natural way of gathering feedback from your particular users. For instance, if we are to look at the whole month of August, at the phrases not understood by the virtual assistant, you can see that some users wanted to practice football, some there are a couple other phrases here, and these will actually make sense in just 1 second. But if I were to select these two items and add them to an existing training set, then I can immediately start building up on the natural language understanding of the virtual assistant itself and improve the model as the more a virtual assistant is being used. On top of that, directly from the previous menu, I also have the possibility to build new automations. In this way, gathering one of the purest forms of feedback that I could get, basically directly from my end users. Let me show you two quick videos detailing the virtual assistants in a couple other flavors. For instance, right here, you will see the virtual assistant working on a channel such as WhatsApp. Notice again, enter your full name, what items would you want to order. Basically, this allows a virtual assistant to be used on any channel, on any type of device, and at some point, even in any language. So you can see how using the channels built-in features, we have the possibility to build conversational experiences that allows even someone who is on the go to start creating orders, to validate business rules, and at some point, why not, to simply start the order process directly from their mobile device while they're on the go, and so on. Moving on, a Druid virtual assistant also allows the interaction with various other backend systems. For instance, in this case, a user was really disappointed in the way their last order was handled. The virtual assistant identifies that something wrong has happened here, so it offers for an agent to connect to this particular human to identify why this has happened. So you will notice in the contact center interface that the virtual assistant brings the full conversation history to the agent, pulls in the most important information, builds some pre-built messages, and allows even for starting of custom automations pertaining to this particular conversation. So with the important information, the conversation happens bidirectionally. So as you can see, the agent right now is engaged in a couple chats, but it is able to switch between all of them, while at the same time the conversation happens in real time in between the two entities. So, for instance, as I mentioned before, for this use case, the contact center agent is able to initiate the product return using any type of automation technology. So in this case, you will see that an RPA solution has started to pull the information without any input from the user and fill in the information for the return form. Once the automation is completed, the virtual assistant will be notified. It will notify the contact center agent, and the contact center agent can finally provide the information back to the human, to the customer who needed to to return this product. In this case, also providing them with a gift card. Finally, I want to look at the realm of possibilities. For instance, having a conversation that will allow, based on the human's needs, as you saw earlier, not only for a virtual assistant to pull information from the backends, but be more understanding of the customer's needs. For instance, the customer says that they would want to practice a new sport and they're asking for recommendations. So even though the customer writes with some mistakes, the virtual assistant is able to understand that it's referring to tennis, and starts guiding the shopper in their experience. If the shopper has particular looks for other types of brands which aren't supported in the catalog, the virtual assistant can start providing that information and pull it live from the product catalog. And in the future, why not drive a full conversational experience, allowing for options such as cross-sell, or to basically try to sell more products to the end user, products that are relevant to their particular needs. I am very mindful of the time. I think I ran a little bit over. So Ursula, back to you.
Awesome. Thank you, Horia. That was very insightful. I think just in closing, what we'd like to say is thank you for your time. And we really hope you benefited from this session and from the information shared today. And again, please reach out to any of the speakers or myself via LinkedIn if you have any other questions. It looks like there are no questions that have come through in the chat channel. And we have some follow-ups. So we really appreciate your time. Thank you very much. And thank you to the speakers. And that was a great demonstration. Horia, thank you.
Thank you.
And with that, over and out. Thank you.